Hello, dinosaur. How are you? Good. You didn't answer. Hey, boom! I'm Thundercloud here, the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame, with the cockatoo, Flexmore Hudson, not husband. I'm Thundercloud. Mum calls me James. You can call me Thundercloud. That's fair. And I'll call you what you want to be called. Washing away the garbage, leaving rainbows after rains. It's Chillin Tuesday on the 3rd of December, 2024. And we've had storms and rains and all kinds of things happening, haven't we? Yeah, the weather. Love the weather. I love green tea too. Let me have a sip of my green tea. Delicious matcha green tea. It's good for me, good for you, and it makes us strong, see? Hey, what have I got for you tonight on Chillin' Tuesday? Well, it's not actually tonight. It's Tuesday morning that I'm recording this because I'm off to Armidale for Poets Zinc at the Armidale Bowls Club. So instead of missing out, I thought, oh, look, I've got a bit of spare time this morning. I'll record Chillin' Tuesday in the morning and I'll sit back and chill because I'm actually fasting at the moment. So it gives me an excuse not to go and eat breakfast over there in the kitchen. Right, I've got for you this book from 1970, The Magic of Verse by Noela Young. It's a Young Australia series, and I've got some from Blue the Shearer, and I've also got some from yours truly. That's myself. So let's begin with the magic of verse. And while I'm opening it up, why don't you hit the like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you stay tuned for next videos that are coming up. All right. The first one we got is a Banjo Paterson poem here called Flying Squirrels. On the rugged watershed at the top of the bridle track, where years ago, as the old men say, the splinters went with a bullock dray, but never a dray came back. At the time of the gum tree bloom, when the scent in the air is strong, and the blossom stirs in the evening breeze, you may see the squirrels among the trees, playing the whole night long. Never a care at all bothers their simple brains. You can see them glide in the moonlight dim from tree to tree and from limb to limb, little grey aeroplanes. Each, like a dormouse, sleeps in the sprout of a gum tree old, a ball of fur with a silver coat, each with a tail around his throat, for fear of catching his cold. These are the things he eats, asking his friends to dine. Moths and beetles and newborn shoots, honey and snacks of the native fruits, and a glass of dew for wine. That's cute. Yeah, look, this has got beautiful illustrations, this book, and I'll give you a look at that. Look at that. There it is, the sugar glider. What am I going to read for you next? The next page, I guess. The Swagman by Rex Ingamels and Spinifex Talks. Here we go. Have a look at those illustrations. Aren't they beautiful? The Swagman to John. Green valleys for white flocks of sheep, red deserts for black crows, dark billabongs for light of stars, and me for all of those. Raggedy trees for kookaburras, ridge rocks for the close of day with colours, roads for tramping, me for all of those. Rex Ingamels. Spinifex Talks by Ella McFadyen. You will survive, said old man Spinifex, to the round green pin cushion springing at his side. 7 years drought and 7 years sorrow, but each cold night's dew gives strength for the morrow. That we live till the blessed rains arrive. It is ours to make seed, to foster our bread, that the old race of Spinifex may still be found alive. In the good year when all things shall thrive. Courage then, and patience, little fella Spinifex. You will survive. That's a quaint little poem, that one, isn't it? Paddy's Market's the next one. Oh, look at this. Well, look, I've got a cup of green tea here, and I'm going to have a sip. And this is in an Australian Poetry Hall of Fame mug, and there's a selection of them available on the line, online, yeah, on our website, australianpoetryhalloffame.com.au. And not only are there mugs there, there's t-shirts, there's hats, there's a whole range of merchandise that all goes to support the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. So we can continue to nurture poets and celebrate poets, and yeah, just love poetry, because poetry is a really important part of all cultures and cultural evolution too, and cultural record. This one's called Paddy's Market, exactly what I was talking about, cultural record, by Pixie O'Harris. I don't know if anyone remembers Paddy's Market in New Farm in Brisbane, but it was pretty special back in the day in the old wool stores. Once the wool stores closed as doing wool, then they turned them into markets, and then the market closed eventually, and they turned them into like upmarket apartments. But anyway, Paddy's Market. I went down to Paddy's Market on a Friday night. Lights a glitter, fruit a litter, pleasant smells so queer and bitter. I went down to Paddy's Market on a Friday night. I went down to Paddy's Market just to have a look. Chinese fellow, old and yellow, selling melons, ripe and yellow, mellow. I went down to Paddy's Market just to have a look. I went down to Paddy's Market feeling very gay. Dusty pages, birds in cages. I bought one with my week's wages. I came back from Paddy's Market and let it fly away. Yeah, Pixie O'Harris. She has a lot of poetry also in the Australian, More Australian Poetry for Kids, which is another book that I've got over here in the library. But yeah, where he's feeling very gay. You got to remember this was written in 1970, and in 1970 the word gay didn't refer to homosexuality at all. It just referred to being happy. Well, like, bring back the real word of feeling gay. I reckon I'm gay today. Let's have a gay day. Yes, happy and gay. Rain by L.H. Allen. Oh, I love rain in bed on the roof. This is not the poem. This is me telling you. Rain. It's good to lie in bed at night and hear the sweeping rain go patter patter on the roof and knock against the pane. It croaks and gurgles down the spout and swishes through the leaves and makes the curly creeper drip that twines about the eaves. All snug and warm in blankets, soft, I hear a windy song like curlews in the lonely bush that wail the whole night long. Yeah, lovely. Next one. Oh, C.J. Denis, he was a contemporary of Banjo Paterson and Henry Lawson, but not the same kind of a poet. He was an urban poet, so he wrote a lot about the urban condition. His most famous would be The Sentimental Bloke. But here we go. This is called The Porter and the Sailor. There are two here. The Porter. I'd like to be a porter and always on the run, calling out, stand aside, and asking leave of none, shoving trucks on people's toes and having splendid fun, slamming all the carriage doors and locking every one. And when they asked to be let in, I'd say it can't be done, but I wouldn't be a porter if the wuggy... But I wouldn't be a porter if the luggage weighed a ton. Would you? A porter. That's one of these people who, moves the baggage on the train platform. It's not that we really have too many porters around these days. People port their own luggage. The sailor. I'd like to be a sailor bold and bluff, calling out, "Ship ahoy!" in many tones and gruff. We probably wouldn't go ship ahoy, probably go ship ahoy in many tones and gruff. I'd learn to box the compass and to reef and tack and luff. I'd sniff and sniff the briny breeze and never get enough. Perhaps I'd chew tobacco or an old black pipe I'd puff, but I wouldn't be a sailor if the sea was very rough. Would you? C.J. Denis. So there's two from him, the porter and the sailor. Oh my goodness, the school bus broke down. You won't be going to school today, kids. Yay! The school bus breaks down. This is by Phyllis, Telfer and Hermea Goodman. As up the hill the school bus goes, just listen how it puffs and blows, it coughs and splutters as it tries to drag its body up the rise, until at last it wearies out and stops. Then with a joyful shout the children jump down to the ground and laugh and skip and run around. We'll all be late for school, hooray! It's not our fault, they chant with glee. Sit down, we'll soon be on our way. The driver roars, don't crowd round me. He takes a crank and twirls it round. The boys and girls soon hear the sound of engines turning. In they hop, and with another start and stop, the bus moves off with downcast face. Each child sits in his normal place. School after all, they sadly say. I thought we might have missed today. Must be a very old bus, a long time ago, before they had like good safety laws and stuff about like keeping your bus maintained. Well, another one by C.J. Denis here, The Circus. Hey there, hoopla, the circus is in town. Have you seen the elephant? Have you seen the clown? Have you seen the dappled horse gallop round the ring? Have you seen the acrobats on the dizzy swing? Have you seen the tumbling men tumble up and down? Hoopla, hoopla, the circus is in town. Oh, hey there, hoopla, here's the circus troupe. Here's the educated dog jumping through the hoop. See the lady blonde and with the parasol and fan, the lad upon the ladder and the India rubber man. See the joyful jugger and the boy who loops the loop. Hey, 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 here's the circus troupe. Yeah. By C.J. Denis. Okay. I don't know. I just felt like that had to be sung. Hey there, hoopla, the circus is in town. Yeah, why not? So it sounds like it should be. Roundabout. This is about going on a merry-go-round and having a fantasy, I guess, on a horse. The roundabout horses are back at the show with the rig-a-jig-jigging away. The music's begun and the rearing to go. The children are mounted with faces aglow with the rig-a-jig-jigging away. I'm up on a charger that's dappled grey with the rig-a-jig-jigging away. His saddle and harness are handsome and gay, and I'm hoping he'll gallop and gallop all day with the rig-a-jig-jigging away. I'll play I'm a robber, the chief of the band, with the rig-a-jig-jigging away. I'll rhyme off to the Crusades with a lance in my hand to harry the Saracens out of the land with the rig-a-jig-jigging away. And now I'm a farmer that's mustering stock with the rig-a-jig-jigging away. My sheepdogs are helping to round up the flock while I ride in my saddle as firm as a rock with a rig-a-jig-jigging away. Or I'm just on a roundabout back at the show with a rig-a-jig-jigging away. For the music is blaring, we're ready to go, and whether they're racing or whether they're slow, there isn't a joy you can possibly know like riding a horse at the show with the rig-a-jig-jigging a rig-a-jig-jigging a rig-a-jig-jigging away. That's by Lydia Pender. All right, the next one is called Summer Morning. Oh, it's my most favourite time to write poetry, is to sit in the sun on a Sunday morning in summer. Petunias jostling on the walk, the ants in clusters bickering, the sparkling hedge, the shining road, the sun through branches flickering, the sharp, sweet scent of new cut grass, a sleek cat archly yawning, the distant bell, the swish of cars. These things are Summer Morning by Al Porter. This one's by L.H. Allen. Sky Silk. Wrapped in sky silk lies the moon, ringed around like a light cocoon. When she breaks her yellow ring, look for a moth with golden ring, with golden wing. L.H. Allen. Oh, Mary Gilmore next. Thankful heart, for love of friends and daily bread, bed for back and roof for head, sunlight and starlight and the green trees, water for thirst, thanks be for these. And Mary Gilmore, if you didn't know, is on our $10 note on the back side, on the front side to the opposite side to Banjo Paterson. I don't think a note has a front or a back, does it? Next one. Oh, another one by Mary Gilmore called Horn Mad I the Morn. Horn mad the morn, I dancing go over the mountains to and fro, beside the brook, to wit to woo, a barnyard owl is dancing too. While in the shade a beetle goes and dances there up on his toes, to wit to woo, the howlet sings, the lake is dancing, dancing rings. And on the shore in silver shoon dances a jig, the lady moon, to wit to woo, horn mad I go, o'er the mountains to and fro. And once I saw a shroudy oak dance till 12 beat out the stroke, and once I saw a pine tree tall dance to its shadow over a wall, and once I saw a snouted hog dancing the highway jiggity-jog, now over the mountains to and fro, horn mad in the morn, I dancing go. That's a beautiful little poem, isn't it? Oh, the witch's song. Goodness gracious. The witch's song. Hoity-toity, hop o' my thumb, tweedledee and tweedledum, all hobgoblins come to me over the mountains, over the sea. Come in a hurry, come in a crowd, flying, chattering, shriek loud. I and my broomstick fidget and call, come hobgoblins, we want you all. Ha 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 ha. I have a pot of mischievous brew. You must do what I tell you to. Blow through the keyholes, hang to the eaves, litter the garden with dead brown leaves. Into the houses, hustle and run, here is the mischief and here is fun. Break the china and slam the doors, crack the window and scratch the floors. Let in cockroaches, mice and rats, sit on the family's Sunday hats. Hiding and stealing everything little, smashing everything thin and brittle, teasing the children, tickling their heels, look at them jumping, hark to their squeals, pinch their eyebrows and pull their hair, then out again to the gusty air. Flutter the birds in their sheltered nests, pluck the down from their ducklings' breasts, steal the eggs from the clucking hen, ride the pigs round and round the pen. Here is to mischief to spare for all. Hoity-toity, come at my call. Tweedledum and tweedledee, come at my summons, come to me. Thus said a witch on a windy night, then sailed on her broomstick out of sight. That was by Ruth Bedford. Oh, I thought that was a really cool, pretty cool poem, actually. I really like that. Oh, Henry Kendall. He was one of our really, really, really early poets. Song of the cattle hunters. While the morning light beams on the fern-matted streams and the water pools flash in its glow, down the ridges we fly with a loud ringing cry, down the ridges and gullies we go. And the cattle we hunt, they are racing in front, with a roar like the thunder of waves, and the beat of our swift horses' feet start as the beat and the beat of our swift horses' feet start the echoes away from their caves, as the beat and the beat of our swift horses' feet start the echoes away from their caves. Like the wintry shore that the waters ride o'er, all the lowlands are filling with sound. For swiftly we gain where the herds on the plain like tempest are tearing the ground, and we'll follow them hard to the rails of the yard, over gulches and mountain tops grey, where the beat and the beat of our swift horses' feet will die with the echoes away, where the beat and the beat of our swift horses' feet will die with the echoes away. Next one, it's called, From Old Australian Ways, and it's by Banjo Paterson. I guess it's a part of the poem. The wind is in the barley grass, the wattles are in bloom, the breezes greet us as they pass with honey-sweet perfume. The parakeets go screeching by with flash of golden wing, and from the swamp the wild ducks cry their long-drawn note of revelry, rejoicing at the spring. Well, we're nearly through the book. Old Man Platypus by Banjo. Old Man Platypus. Far from the trouble and toil of town, where the reed beds sweep and shiver, look at a fragment of velvet brown, Old Man Platypus drifting along the river. And he plays and dives in the river bends in a style that is most elusive, with few relations and fewer friends, for Old Man Platypus descends from a family most exclusive. He shares his burrow beneath the bank with his wife and his son and daughter. At the roots of the reeds, the grasses rank, and the bubbles show where our hero sank, to its entrance underwater. Safe in their burrow, beneath the falls, they live in a world of wonder, where no one visits and no one calls. They sleep like little brown billiard balls, with their beaks tucked neatly under. And he talks in a deep, unfriendly growl, and he goes on his journey lonely, for he's no relation to fish nor fowl, nor to bird nor beast nor two-horned owl. In fact, he's the one and only, the platypus, Old Man Platypus. Next one by Lydia Pender, The Lizard. There on the sun-hot stone, why do you wait alone and still, so still, neck arched, head high, tense and alert, but still as the stone. Still is your delicate head like the head of an arrow. Still is your delicate throat, rounded and narrow. Still is your delicate back, patterned in silver and black, and bright with the burnished sheen that the gum tips share. Even your delicate feet are still as the heat, with the stillness, alive and awake and intensely aware. Why do I catch my breath, held by your spell, listening, waiting, for what? Will you not tell? More alive in your quiet than ever the locust can be, shrilling his clamorous song from the shimmering tree. More alive in your motionless grace as the slow minutes die than the scurrying ants that go hurrying busily by. I know, if my shadow but fall by your feet on the stone, in the wink of an eye, let me try. Ah, he's gone. The Lizard by Lydia Pender. And we've got one here by Judith Wright. It's the last one of the book, and it's called Magpies. Along the road, the magpies walk with hands in pockets, left and right. They tilt their heads and stroll and talk in their well-fitted black and white. They look like certain gentlemen who seem most nonchalant and wise until their meal is served, and then, what clashing beaks, what greedy eyes. But not one man that I have heard throws back his head in such a song of grace and praise, no man nor bird. Their greed is brief, their joy is long, for each is born with such a throat as thanks his God with every note. Judith Wright. All right, so that's Young Australian series, The Magic of Verse, illustrated by Noela Young and published by Angus and Robertson in 1970. So yeah, 54 years old. I did say that I would, read out some of my own poems. So I'm going to intersperse them throughout here, and here we go. This is one I wrote this morning, last night actually. It's called Making a Poem. It's based on the multiple intelligences as proposed by Dr. Howard Gardner. Thoughts as words is what poetry is. Verbal, linguistic, and bodily kinesthetic, logical, mathematical, and interpersonal, intrapersonal, naturalistic, musical, rhythmic, spatial, multiple intelligence is the human who is poetic. Creative playing with language, reading, writing, colloquial slanguage, zap, tap, cut, copy, paste, enter, repeated patterns 1 through 20, repeated visual aspects, stanza groupings, line length, layout. Am I delivering this at the right speed? Are you coping? Performance, hip hop, spoken word and talking, Insta poets, TikTok, elements of nature, cockatoo squawking, ching chicka wah wah, chick chick boom, onomatopoeia and alliteration in the room, empathy, sympathy and collaboration, identity, emotions and questioning situations, cathartic, humorous, emotional and feelings, logical, rational, creative, also healing. Poetry is creative wordplay. Now, this week, 6 days ago, I turned 20,000 days old. I'm 20,006 now. And so I committed to writing a poem every day. This was yesterday's poem. And writing philosophy starts with a poem, ends with philosophy. Day 20,005. The prize that you get is not what you see. Underneath this exterior, there is so much more to me. What you see is not what you get. This prize will excite you and will make you sweat. It's strong and commanding, determinant, compassionate, kind, even to vermin. This prize will serve you with utter devotion, sparked within you gushing waves of emotion. Never again will you have guilty pleasure. This prize that you lose is the lost treasure. The prize that you win will be your test, because winning a prize isn't always for the best. So, continue. 2020, January, the Nimbin Swimming Pool Olympics were held. In the Nimbin Swimming Pool, of course. In the spirit of the Olympics, this was about having fun, not really winning or losing. There were 2 events that I competed in, the crocodile crawl and the Nimbin Olympic 300-metre marathon. The crocodile crawl was a race on inflatable crocodiles up and back the pool. In the Nimbin Olympic 300 marathon, we had to swim in a square around the 4 poles supporting the shade structures at either end. I won both events, and I got these 2 cups that just sit gathering dust now. So what? I hear you ask. No big deal. Exactly my point. Winning something or losing something doesn't matter. What matters is how you play the game and what did you learn. I got out of the swimming pool once in Nimbin to an abusive text message and Fed up with her abusive manner, I quit Rose and Foundation Eatery and never went back for good. That was a race that I didn't need to run anymore. A couple of months later, I went to Orange to compete in the Banjo Paterson Australian Poetry Competition. I didn't win or place, but driving home through Gyra, I came across this Arcadia Theatre, and a month later I opened the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. Now I get to offer opportunities for poets and artists to develop and a place for performances. My 3 years in Nimbin at Nimbin University was not about winning any cups in some weird races. It was about a journey. It was what I learned. I learned to stand on my own 2 feet as an artist. I learned what every artist needs is a money-making scheme in order to serve the world with our generosity of creative gifts. And when you're in the race, it's just you and you alone, learning how far can I push myself and tolerate pain in order to grow. You'll know when the race has ended because that's the beginning of training for the next event. The real prize is the learning and the training. I'll probably go and do my yoga now, and then I'll go for a swim. Well, I'm swimming 3 days a week. Why? Because the real prize is me, just like your prize is you. And that's why it's important to be self-disciplined so you stay healthy and strong. End of story. Now, the next one I got for you, Blue the Shearer here. A bit of Blue the Shearer. We're probably moving on to a bit ruder poems now because they were all sort of based for kids. Well, absolutely, because this has got the Addict in it. Let's go to page 64. The Lady Shearer. I may never have shorn sheep in my life, but Australia's champion Lady Shearer of some time ago was a good friend of mine. I loved a Lady Shearer once, a dainty little thing, and round the shearing sheds today her praises still they sing. I had to shear, she told me, for she only found true peace while working in the shearing shed taking off the fleece. The big tough male shearers came, they travelled many a mile, just to see my darling shear, and criticise her style. It's true to say her shearing left some quite unimpressed, but they liked to sit and chat with her while she was getting dressed. The way she had of handling sheep was beautiful to see. She'd simply smile at all the rams, and tractable they'd be. She had to hold the ewes, of course, the wethers weren't quite sure, but every ram that hit her stand would just lie on the floor. I guess that number that she saw was not that great every day, but it's quality, not quantity, what she used to say. Along all the shearing giants, I suppose she wasn't much, but I loved to watch her whipping side, and I loved to see her crutch. Oh dear, man. Yeah, cutting the bits off the sheep, eh? Off the bum of the sheep. Oh, well, this is probably one of Cole Wilson, Blue the Shearer's most famous poems, The Addict. This bloke in the doctor's surgery says, "Doc, I'm in pain. I broke me who's what's it. Can you straighten it again?" "Let's take a look," the doctor says. "Oh my God, that does look sore. I've never seen a fella with a broken one before. Can you tell me how you did it while I fix this plaster cast?" Okay, Doc, I'll tell you. Just straighten out me mast." "That's all because this wife of mine, she's one-arm bandit mad. She plays the pokies day and night. She's really got it mad. In the early hours this morning I woke and thought, hello, she's got me by the gear shift. And she's moving to and fro. But she's dreaming, playing pokies, gripping hard enough to choke it. For half an hour she kept it up, and in the end she broke it." "Half an hour," the doctor says. Must have hurt like hell. She might have thought to let you go if you'd have thought to yell. I couldn't, said the bloke. The pain was murder in me loins. And anyway, my mouth was filled with 50 10-cent coins. Oh, yeah. All right, there's one over here that I wanted to do. Page 74, 75, the nature strip. No friction or conceptualization here. A true account of a true event goes really well with a song to the tune of The Man in the Flying Trapeze. The first verse repeated as the chorus. She sleeps in the raw, the girl I adore, in a cottage with roses around the back door. I'll tell you a tale you've not heard before of my love who was caught in the nude. One day she slept late, got up after 8 and streaked like a flash to the dunny, when she suddenly felt some eyes on her pelt, and she thought to herself, this ain't funny. She hurried inside to the toilet to hide and snuck a quick look through the crack. The first thing she saw was some men stacking straw, and she thought, will I ever get back? Oh, what could she do stuck in there in the loo? Then she thought of an interesting caper. To get back inside, she would cover her hide with layers of pink toilet paper. Alas and alack, she tried to get back. The rain it did start down to pour. The poor girl did fret as the paper got wet, and soon she was naked once more. Now it's surely not rude to run around nude, especially if you're not despised, but I know you'll be glad if you're decently clad when you go to the dunny outside. Oh, here we go. This one's called Out. This fella from the city was touring way out west when he saw a tiny country pub and he stopped in for a rest. The publican was friendly, so he bought the bloke a beer. He had a couple more for taste and felt a little queer. He asked the friendly publican to steer him towards the dunny. The publican said, righto, but you're going to find it funny. We haven't got a sewer here. It's bull across the pit. I suppose the really primitive, but it's good enough to use if you're desperate. 2 years went by, the publican began to get concerned. 2 hours went by, the publican began to get concerned. He went to find the reason why the bloke had not returned. And there he was, just sitting there. He said, I'm going crackers. Every time I try to rise, it grabs me by the knackers. Oh, the publican just stood and laughed, and then he shook his head. I thought I'd seen everything. But you beat all, he said, for sheer bloody stupidity. You take the bloody medal. You're sitting on the mop pail with your foot upon the pedal. Oh! Ow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay. That's out. Oh, the flatulent horse. Well, goes well to the tune of the pub with no beer. There's nothing so gross, so crude, or so coarse than to stand at the rear of a flatulent horse. A horse that breaks wind with such consummate ease, with an equine aroma that floats on the breeze. This horse once a stallion, a beautiful grey, with some of his best parts cut cruelly away. Now naught but a gelding, and mourning those parts, he expresses his grief in a series of farts. Well, there's nothing quite like it, this rush of warm air. You're combing his tail and you wish you weren't there. You move to the front end, incredibly brisk. No wonder the old ozone layer's at risk. They've tried every remedy, strategy, cure to stem this foul flow that's just sort of manure. From wearing a gas mask to inserting a cork to the spraying of perfume, but none of them work. Just one word of caution, take care when you pass within half a mile of that grey horse's ass. For there's nothing so gross, so crude or so coarse than to stand at the rear of that flatulent horse. All right. Beautiful. What else we got here for you? The thong, okay. The traditional footwear in Australia, also known in other countries as a flip-flop, or a sandal, or a jandal. Let's talk about the icons that are worshipped by us Aussies. Kubra hats, the Opera House, meat pies, speedos, cozies. Some would say our icon is that famous waltzing song, and I reckon it's something else. I reckon it's the thong. I've thought 1,000 thoughts of thong and think that the thong is more an Aussie icon than the swagman's billabong. Just as real men don't eat quiche, the dinkum Aussie male will wear his dinkum Aussie thong come rain or sleet or hail. You can keep your Nikes and Reeboks. It's the thong that should be put with Aussie pride and dignity on every Aussie foot. I'm going to start a business like Bond. I can't go wrong. I'll market it throughout the world as Blues Designer Thong. A thong for each occasion. It's just sound common sense to make a tough, all-purpose thong to wear to all events. Simple, sturdy, comfortable. My Blues Designer Thong will let the foot breathe evenly and dissipate the pong. It's good for killing blowflies on the barbecue stove. It's great for crushing garlic. Just belt it on the clove and wipe the garlic-laden thing on chicken, beef or pork. Inhale the pure aroma of that garlic while you walk. A thong for early evening to wear with hipster tights. I can see the jingle in my mind as though it were in lights. Just a thong at twilight when the tights are low, with a string of diamantes twined artistic round the toe. A thong to wear to worship, I'd call it even thong. The strap is very holy and the sole so very strong. A thong to wear to football, to cricket or the shops, to shearing sheds or to factories, steel-capped thongs for cops. I'd move away from footwear, create a new design for a chocolate-coated thong to give my Valentine, and way into the future when the years have moved along. She will show her grandkids love an old sweet thong. And when we go Republic and we're looking for a song to celebrate our icon, let's hear it for the thong. Forget waltzing Matilda, advance Australia fair. A brand new national anthem will be wafting through the air. God save our gracious thong, make our feet safe and strong, and free from pong. Wear them instead of shoes to press hubs and interviews. Health, happiness to all of yous. God save the thong. Well, there we go. Oh, look, a finishing one. I love thunderstorms and hail and lightning and all of that stuff. It's awesome. And there's lots of it around at the moment. Oh, I'm so happy. Here he comes with a crash and a boom. No, the thundercloud repairing is in the room. Crescendo of emotion roaring up high. Butterflies tremble when storms are in the sky. Carrying the water of life on his back. Lightning flashes, whack, bang, smack, crack. You will know when thundercloud's about. Nobody can ignore his violent smashing shout of passion for life, torrential tears of rain, leaving behind rainbows, healing earth's pain. Yeah, my favourite weather. Beautiful. All right, well, that's Chillin' Tuesday for the week. And on this, what was the date? That's right, December. See you later.